So today I'm going to be talking about Sister Act, which is the lovely musical that just closed in June. This was my first civic performance and it was so much fun. So starting out, in terms of songage, it is probably one of my top 2 favorite musicals that I've been in. It is funky, the harmonies are beautiful, they're enjoyable to sing. And the Spirit of God is so eminent throughout the entire show. In terms of my role, I was a nun. First time ever, I was a fantasy dancer, and it was so exciting because in my first freshman year performance of Crazy for You, I really wanted to be a fantasy dancer because that's what all the cool girls were doing. And so I finally got my moment, and it made me very happy to get to work like extra hard and have that payoff. Nun it up!
I was really scared to be in Fantasy Dancers because it's kind of like something I've always wanted to be in, but felt like I had no talent, not enough talent to be in. It's just inspiring to myself. It's just proving that I can do things if I work and I have the ability to, which I always felt like the reason I wasn't getting into things is because I didn't have the ability to, but I can.
In terms of acting knowledge acquired, I learned how to act in a theater and around, which is a huge opportunity. It is so cool to be surrounded by people. The proximity to the audience is so close, you can see people's reactions. It really tests your focus when you're acting, because you can see people. It's not like performing to a dark theater where you don't get to see people's reactions or even realize that there is people there a lot of the times, so that was a little bit intimidating. Cast relationships, I got to work with adult actors for the first time, which is incredibly humbling and such a huge opportunity for me. I also got to learn how to do full quick changes in like the span of one song with full hair, full makeup, full outfit, quick changes. That was absolutely crazy, and I'd repeat it in a second if I could. I was always nervous I would mess it up, but I didn't mess up my quick changes. I did mess up other things, but not my quick changes. Like my one line that I forgot. I literally don't know what happens in my mind sometimes. Anyways, in terms of directors' relationships, there were a ton of very creative and intelligent and experienced professional directors in this show. There was a woman who played the lead on a branch of Broadway, I think, and she had been in an actual production of Sister Act. The stakes for that were a lot higher, and she had a lot more connection to the story, and so she saw the show in a specific way, which she wanted us to emulate. It was also really cool to work with these directors because this was the main director's debut, which is really cool. She was the most caring director and professional person that I've worked with this summer. I mean, like, just so caring, and she was a human under all of it. It wasn't just like, oh, I'm directing you. No, she cared about you, she cared about the story, and she wanted to make sure that you, like, whatever was going on, that you were okay. I felt so supportive despite not being a vital member of the story. Like, I really had such a tiny role. She treated me in a way that was like, I'm still meaningful, and like, I saw value, which is something new that I got to experience, and that was really cool. That was my first time being a chorus member, not feeling that like if I wasn't there, like nobody would notice. So, something to say for that. In terms of technical knowledge acquired, I got to learn how to work curtains, which was really cool. There were curtains on 4 of the sides since it's theater in the round, and so it was interesting to learn how to pull them. And then also I worked in a transition, and I was doing a quick change and a transition in the same window of time, and it was really difficult, but I did a transition in heels and it was pretty cool. Consistent relationship building, I feel like I made a lot of like really good connections, not just like theater, like, oh, we're in the same show, like, I'll never talk to you again things. Like, I really feel like these people could stay in my life for the rest of time. Like, I can see myself going to people's weddings, and like we were talking about that. Like one girl was like, if I ever get married, I'm inviting y'all to my wedding. Everyone comes from different backgrounds, and so it was really cool to get to meet a bunch of different people from a bunch of different places, and it wasn't like we were casted just because we were all in the same school. So it was really cool to meet people from a bunch of different backgrounds, and I'm really hoping that moving forward, keep in touch, even if it's just through like social media. I feel like these people have really changed me as a person, in realizing that you can incorporate like your religion, your faith, and your personal life into theater. You can make theater impact you instead of working for theater, if that makes sense. But we can also take our experiences and infuse them into the show that we watch as well. And so I learned a lot about that. But I wouldn't have learned a lot of the things that I learned in the show without the diversity of the ages and the backgrounds and experiences. In terms of overall work environment, it was great. It was strict and it was efficient. We got things done. We had a very long and unmovable schedule. So oftentimes I would actually work going to school from 8 to 6 because my rehearsal at school for my school show went till 6, and then from 6:30 to like 10 or 9 working for Sister Act, and that was kind of a crazy schedule, but it was just like you gotta do what you gotta do in order to make a show, and it was worth it. It was so worth it. Moving forward in my life, especially when I get older, I'm not sure I'll be able to do both school and theater, but it's definitely like the theater experience that I had definitely opened me up to the fact that like if I don't go to theater, if I don't go to school for theater, I could definitely see myself being in civic productions if I get cast into them. So that's really exciting. And in terms of personal growth, I learned how initiative is on you. It's on you if you want to work hard. You're gonna have to find time for yourself if you want to work on the dances that you're assigned to, and no one's going to do it for you. And I learned that in a bunch of different shows, but it was really impactful for this show, seeing that I had very little time, and I was like, I had to make time if I wanted to make time for it. In terms of my outfits, I had some really cute fits. I had the basic nun costume, which was phenomenal. It was like 9 pieces, collar, head sock, black dress, scapula, rope, rosary, shoes, tights. Oh, and then the veil. Yeah, there was a lot going on there. And then there was a hooker outfit. Trying that on was really exciting. I was like, ooh, I don't get to be a nun, just a nun. This is why I love theater. And I also got to be a fantasy dancer. First time for that, very exciting. And then a glitter habit, which is the final number, which was the most invigorating feeling, really doing that song. Like coming out and having people cheer and be like, oh, like their mind's blown, because that was the quickest quick change. That was from a normal nun to a glitter habit, and it was so quick. It was in the matter of a half a song and the rest of a scene. So quick. It was just such a good show, and I loved meeting so many people from so many backgrounds. It was so inspiring to think that theater is not just about like high schoolers putting on a show or like big Broadway people putting on a show, but like everyday people, like teachers and pastors and music majors and dancers. It was really cool to get to see a bunch of people from a bunch of different backgrounds making a show. Very inspiring.
Studio 54 and Studio 1 are proud to present the large band.